Hello, everybody. I just want to talk about this the concept of being loved, not lonely in love. And it's a really big difference. You know, when I was young, I always felt like I was on the outside, like I never belonged. I was always on the outside looking in. And I never felt seen or heard, or I just felt like I was almost this avatar. And I was a chameleon. I was very good at just being all things to all men. But I really felt lonely. I felt just like I was different to everybody else. And I was wondering, how often, even when I was in relationships, I felt very, very lonely. So I wanted to ask you how often you felt lonely in a relationship, even when you thought you were in a relationship that was a loving one, an intimate one, even when you were lying next to someone in the same bed. How often did you feel lonely? I asked a woman this the other day, and she said every single time. Every single relationship. She said, I don't think I've ever been loved. And I don't remember a time in my adult relationship, or actually even in my life, when I felt truly seen or heard. And she often envies her friends, not in a nasty way, but she's in awe that they seem to have what she doesn't have and she's never experienced in her life, which is that love that brings you joy, that the simple joys, the love in which you share common experiences, share common values, that it's easy, you laugh together, you can be yourself with, and makes you wake up feeling every day loved and wanted. And instead, she spent a lifetime walking on eggshells, which I did too. First as a child, and then later in one toxic relationship after another. That sense that you're just always on eggshells, anticipating what's going to happen next. I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure. I don't feel, really loved and enveloped in this love that brings me that feeling of safety. Does any of this ring true for you? That feeling that you're never validated, you're never listened to, you're never believed, that you matter, that your dreams matter. When was the last time you felt really seen and heard? Or do you spend your life walking on eggshells, always doing everything for everybody else, always keeping the peace, always listening for hours on end to others about their problems, and ever wondering, why doesn't anyone ever bother to ask how I am, let alone care? And did you ever feel like you truly belonged? I'm just seeing a flashing light on my camera that my battery's about to run out. So I'm just going to swap something over for a second. I'm going to have to swap to my computer camera because I don't want to lose you. There we go. It's not quite as good a background, but never mind. So I just want to know, if that rings true for you, that whether you ever feel like you're lonely even when you're surrounded by friends. And do you ever wonder if anyone will ever understand how you feel? Do you know what I mean by this? Or do you ever wonder what's wrong with you? Why is it impossible for you to find happiness? Those of us, you're not alone, because those of us who go into toxic relationships often feel this way. Like we've got this deep, hidden secret, this well of shame that nobody can see, but we know it's there. It's in the pit of our stomachs. Even when we're in a crowd of people, we just feel this shame that we don't quite fit in, we don't belong. And we've never really known who we are because we've been so used to being all things to all people. You know, when I was young, I would wear many different faces. I would put on different masks. I would have different opinions depending on the situation. And I would just change them. I would morph. I was like a pretzel. I would just twist myself in all different shapes, and I would morph into the person I thought that others needed me to be or wanted me to be. And maybe then if I was that and I pleased them, I would get validation and I would be loved and I would be seen and I would be heard. But it's a really lonely place to be. And what you may not realize is this, that subconscious patterns from your childhood, you know, if you felt like this all your life, ever since you're a child, it's no surprise, you know, because subconscious patterns that have ingrained in you in your childhood that you obviously don't even know are there because they're deep in your subconscious, become your adult reality. And what happens is they determine the choices that you make. And as a result, the choices you start to make are reactionary. You're reacting to the world by changing your behavior, changing what you say, trying to do different things, try different things, you know, whatever, modifying who you are to fit in, to keep the peace. And you stray so far from the person you were born to be that you have no idea how to start to get her back, let alone how to heal. And that's why you feel so stuck. You feel like your present isn't working, but you don't realize it's your past that needs healing. Often because, you know, many of us end up in these toxic relationships without a history of a toxic past. We don't realize that there are subconscious patterns that have impacted us. But deep down, you know that if you don't heal whatever it is those subconscious patterns are, then she'll become so buried deep inside of you, it will be impossible to find her again. And that's what you worry about, that the shame will just keep growing. And that sense of, what if they see who I really am and reject me? That fear of abandonment. You know, what if they find out I'm no good at what I do? Asks the imposter syndrome inside you. I was really good at that, man. I had an imposter that was always saying, you don't know what you're doing. When are they going to find you out? You know, all this sort of stuff. And you wonder why so many people